Greetings, peoples, and welcome back to Spyro the Reignited Trilogy. And now this is the final part, so we're just going through all of the last levels in the last hub world. And yeah, we got 10,575 gems. I hate how not perfectly even that number is, or even in general, it's not an even number. This is Nork Cove, or Gnork Cove for the uninformed who think it's pronounced Gnasty Gnork. It's Nasty Nork, okay? Nasty Nork. There is no G. So yes. Yeah, this is where the game starts to ramp up in difficulty. And, yes, it's gonna be more treacherous. It's gonna be more dangerous for our little purple boy. It's to bounce these little barrel things. Which I screw up a bit with, like right there, That's a wonderful example. But sometimes it can just be annoying when you like charge into them and you bounce back and stuff like that. It stops your flow. It stops it from being all flowing and perfect. You know? You understand? Are you in the know? Do you think it's pronounced Gnork? I hope not. Gnork. There is no G. This is TNT, obviously, as it is labeled, TNT. I tried charging into that and trying to bounce it like one of the barrels. Unfortunately, it exploded on my beautiful purple dragon face. And it hurt a lot, guys. It hurt. Explosives hurt. Little PSA from Cryo here. Explosives hurt your face, so don't blow yourself up. Yeah. So yeah, this is yeah, they auto target too. They have a little bit of a lock-on type thing going on. Ooh, 10 gems. How wonderful in yellow and gold. Yeah, this is pretty much all the game has been leading up to. We're getting ready to face Nasty Nork. Again, this is last these are the last defenses of his little army, his minions, whatever. You know, like, this is his last defense. We're charging in headstrong, and it's not that difficult because this game is pretty easy aside from treetops. This game's pretty easy, so there's not much to worry about with these last few levels. It's pretty simple. Very simple. So yeah! Yeah, this is pretty much a level taking place on the docks. I'm assuming this is where he takes all this stuff and, like, ships it out or something. I'm not really sure. And these are, I believe, if I am not mistaken, which I probably am, but I don't think I am here, these are all dragons that we've rescued before. And these are the last few dragons. Again, I mentioned there are 80 dragons. That was our 76th dragon. So, we only have 4 more to go! 4 more dragons! Lovely! Now we're going into the boat. We're going into the boat. And these guys have, like, armor on them, metal armor, that you can't break in any way, so you gotta blow them up. Because again, explosives hurt your face, so don't blow yourself up. It's perfectly fine to blow other people up, though. If they're in your way, and they're blocking progress, you can't make progress because of them, it's okay to blow them up. So, yeah, this is, yeah, there's not really much to say now. Like, this game has a lot going on. I love Spyro 1. It's like, every level, I guess, could be considered a bit samey. Like, the game doesn't really, there's a part where I tried ramming it into there. But, yeah, this game can feel samey at times. I don't think it feels samey myself. I played this game many times. I'm used to this sort of stuff. I think it's enjoyable. But some people may find this a bit samey because in Spyro 1 there's not really a lot of, I guess, variety. That's one of the downsides of it. I don't really mind it all that much, but again, still it could be considered a downside. Where it's like, oh, go into a new level, rescue some dragons, get the gems, and that's pretty much it. Like, you'll find a key occasionally, maybe an egg thief. Other than that, there's not much, you know, going on. But yeah, like every level is even in the same sort of structure where there's, in every hub world, you know, you complete those dragons, gems, you know. And then there's always going to be 3 regular levels, 1 boss level, 1 flight level. Or, wait, I got that wrong. Wonderful me. There are 4 regular levels, 1 boss level, 1 flight level. But, yeah, every world is essentially the same, but with how the aesthetics change and how a few levels here and there have their own sort of gimmick, like this level with the barrels and everything, it helps to mix it up for at least a little bit. Games 2 and 3, especially 2, because I love Spyro 2, you know, they mix it up with like mini games and stuff like that to, you know, keep you interested, keep freshening things up a bit so you're not like just bored. I don't really get bored of this type of like you know, repetitive gameplay. This game is really repetitive, but that's not like necessarily a bad thing for me at least. But yeah, I can see why people don't like Spyro 1 for that very reason, but you know, I don't mind it. I like its repetitive nature. It's a very relaxing game too. This game is very, you know, relaxed and set back. It's very simple. It's straight to the point. There's not much story aside from Nasty North turning all the dragons into crystals. You rescue them, but other than that, there's not much going on. Again, very simple, laid-back game. You know, you can just sort of plow through it. It's not that long either. Like, if you do the bare minimum of what is required from you, like, you get the lowest requirement for what you need to go on to the next world. So, for example, Artisans, instead of 100%ing every level like I did, you just get 10 dragons. Like, don't even bother with the gems, you just get 10 dragons, and then you move on to the next level. You could beat this game in probably, making a guesstimate here, you know, a little guesstimate, probably somewhere around 2 to 3 hours. And, like, 100%ing everything makes it all last around, I'd have to say, probably, like, if I can remember my playtime here for the whole game, for this playthrough, around 6.5 hours. So, yeah, 100% in the game does add a lot, like, a lot more playtime to everything. This game is mostly, you know, just, you know, 100%. It was built that way. It was built for you to collect everything, as a collectathon should be built. But, you know, not to say it like it feels like it's lacking or anything. You could still definitely have fun if you don't 100% everything. But that's just how I like to play Spyro, and how Spyro should be played. Is people that don't want to 100% everything, ugh, they make me sick. I'm not used to seeing Spyro played that way. But in all seriousness, it doesn't, like, it doesn't take away from the experience to not 100% the game. Just like, that's the best way to play it, at least for me. And again, with games 2 and 3, there's a lot more variety with minigames, and in 3, multiple playable characters. So, yeah, if you think Spyro 1 is lacking, games 2 and 3 definitely have a lot more going on. Some may consider that a bad thing. I don't really consider it a bad thing, per se. Like, in game 2, I love the variety. There's a lot going on, and I like it. It was at a steady, you know, it was at a good, like, mix between, like, you know, every now and then mixing it up with a minigame or a side quest or something like that. Aside from, like, regular Spyro platforming stuff like what you're seeing in the first game. But, yeah, like, when it comes to, Game 3, I feel like it has a bit too much going on when it comes to, like, minigames. A lot of different, like, vehicle play styles, and the multiple playable characters aren't bad. I just, like, you know, I don't know, I just feel like there's a bit too much going on in 3. That's for me. It's actually the same way I feel about the Crash trilogy, the original Crash trilogy, where it's like, you know, game 1 is good, it's simple, but it, you know, works, it's really solid. Game 2 tries to mix it up with, like, other stuff, like the hoverboard sequences and things like that. And then game 3, I feel like went a little, like a tad bit overboard. It's still a great game. Same goes for Spyro 3, but I just feel like there's a bit too much going on. But that's just me. Some people might just like it. It's really just a preference type thing. Do you prefer more, like, you know, more things going on, like more variety, stuff like that? Or do you prefer, like, you know, a more simple game like Spyro 1? Do you prefer something more in the middle like Spyro 2? It's all preference. All three games are great for their own reasons. But, you know, it's all a matter of which one you like more. Anyway, we're going on to the real last level, which is Twilight Harbor. And, yeah, this right here, this is Nasty Nork's last defense. Before, you know, he runs out of stuff and he starts, like, running away from you, like the pansy he is. So yeah, Twilight Harbor. I don't know what it is. I felt like the loading screens were a bit shorter in here. I'm probably just imagining things, but it feels that way. Also, these levels look beautiful. Absolutely marvelous. So yeah, here's a little bit of trivia, a little fun fact for you. If you've been following the Reignited Trilogy, like moi, you would know that this was changed from the original game for a while now, that these paint guns that the enemies are using, in the original, they were just full-on, like, you know, machine guns, AKs, whatever. They were real guns. And then in this game, in the remake, they decided to change it to paint guns, all Splatoony, you know. Like, a lot of people thought it was censorship at first. Toys for Bob has gone on record saying that it was a stylistic choice, you know. A lot of people are really, really upset that they changed it from, you know, a real gun to a paint gun. I can see what the problem is. Like, it doesn't really make it feel as, I guess, intimidating as a final level, you know. It doesn't really feel as, I guess, serious, you know, gratifying and stuff like that to go through the final level because of that change, but, like, I never really minded it, you know, myself. I never really cared. I looked at the paint guns and it's like, oh, that's just, you know, a change from the original. It doesn't really take away or add anything for that matter. I didn't really care. This is Cosmos! Again, because all these dragons are from previous levels. Yeah, these are the docks and everything. You know, we're getting close to the end, guys. We're getting close to the end. Not that this game was long to begin with, and the fact that I played through most of the game as a stream, so there's only really 2 other parts aside from those 2 streams, which was originally going to be 1 stream before my internet just decided to stop the stream for whatever reason. It was a good stream too. For once, I had a stable stream, which, for those of you who don't know, happens rarely. But I changed my streaming location to somewhere else, so you know I could have a more stable internet connection and actually have streams. So yeah, that's a change that happened, you know, during the stream. It just decided to end. You know, I went from having a good stream to just changing to be it just stopped. But then I instantly started to stream back up, and everything was hunky-dory. It was all fun. It was all great. So yeah, there's really only 4 parts for Spyro 1, because this is a short game. It's really short. It's simple. Again, it's really straightforward to the point. You know, it's a simple game. What can I say? It's a simple game. Right here is our last supercharged ramp. Or not ramp, but, well, yeah, it's a supercharged ramp. It is a ramp. I am supposed to use that for something else later on to get the last few gems. And right here, as you see me running past it, you'll see these yellow little switches right there. They're right there. I was supposed to flame those in order to get, you know, to a upper area. If you see the building off to the side, I'm supposed to jump into that little circle area right there. And I did not know that at first. In the original, I didn't have a problem with it. I hadn't played the original in a while. I didn't really remember this level all that well. But when I played the Reignited Trilogy, it sort of looks too good. So it's blended in with like the rest of everything else, and I didn't really spot it. Yeah, I had trouble locating those last few gems. And right here, we are coming up to the end of the level. By the time I finished the level, I realized, oh, I'm missing a few gems. I better go back and try to find them. Only for me to go back and try to find them for what seemed like ages. It took forever. And if you hadn't noticed, I lost Sparks at this point. So I didn't have him to point me in the direction of where gems were, so I had to go on my instincts. Which didn't point me in the direction for, I guess here, 20 minutes. So yeah, I was wandering around aimlessly for around 20 minutes. I died a handful of times because I tried jumping over areas that led into death, because I didn't know where to go. And of course, like I said earlier, I did not see the little switches that I was supposed to, flip. So I didn't exactly know what to do. And it took me 20 minutes to find out where to go, which was not really that fun. I wish they would have stuck out a bit more. Of course, looking back on it, I noticed them, but, yeah, it, took me quite a while to try and find those. So yeah.
One eternity later.
I finally found out that, oh, let me try and see if there's a way for me to jump into there, because the supercharged ramp must be there for a reason, and oh. Yeah, that took forever. It took way too long. So, me, feeling like an idiot, decided to go back up there, run down that supercharged ramp and get those gems as quickly as possible, because I want to get out of this level as quickly as possible, because I was sick of aimlessly wandering around for the last few gems in the level. This is the only time I had trouble with something like this, that and treetops. It's all because those switches just sort of blended in with the environment. Like, again, of course, looking back on it, I definitely noticed it, obviously, because I know it's there now. But on my first playthrough, really, like, third or fourth, but my first time playing through Reignited, I didn't notice it at all, so, that caused me to, be here for a lot longer than I probably should have. Yeah, so this is me just trying to book it out of the level as soon as possible. I know I could probably exit through the level, like, exit out of the level through the pause menu, but I don't know why, it feels more satisfying to go through the portal. You get the little swirlies, and you get to fly there, you know, it's nice. I don't know why, I like going through the portal. That's just me, okay? You know, I like going through the portal, don't judge me. I like the portal. Sure, it takes longer, and it's really not any more or less efficient. In fact, it's less efficient, it's slower. But I just like the portal. Anyways, these are the last few gems in the hub world. There we go. Now to face Nasty Nork, the final boss, the most treacherous foe we have yet to face. And it's not that big of a deal, and he's one of the biggest pushovers in the entire game, despite the fact that I died to him, but that's really only because I was missing Sparks from the last level. So yeah, this boss is pretty pathetic. 11,500 treasure. Now that is one sexy looking number, nice and perfect in, like, you know, even. It's lovely. So yeah, this is Nasty Nork. And yeah, he's just gonna stand there. He's gonna be shooting some light or whatever at us. I don't know exactly what it is. I never bothered to look it up. I don't know what he's actually doing here. I'm assuming he's shooting from his little crystal, like, causing hammer thing. But yeah, this is me just trying to avoid those while collecting gems, because without Sparks, I need to pick up every single gem one by one, and it is not fun. It really sucks. So yeah, this is gonna take a hot minute, you know, just to collect all these real slowly, because I don't have my dragonfly buddy with me. I don't do that. I really have a much harder time. But yeah, I go through here. These are the last few thieves. There's this one and then another one later on. But I have to slowly collect each gem because, again, I do not have sparks with me. So I need to take my sweet time collecting all of these. And again, it's not fun. I like having them, you know, I like having, you know, a magnetic, you know, type of trait where I can, like, have them come towards me if I'm near them. But sadly, again, I don't have my dragonfly buddy with me. Ain't got sparks, so I can't do that. I actually have to work. You know, I actually have to work for stuff. And it's not fun. I don't want to have to work for what I want. I want it to be handed to me. Literally, I want Sparks to pick it up for me, and I want it to be handed to me. Right here, I thought keyhole key, but yeah, I came too close, and, you know, North just decided to go, nope, and kill me right there. So, I had to look for a different key, but I didn't see it at the time. Which, looking back on it, I'm still not paying attention to what's going on in the level. I didn't see it at first, so, you know, I'm not paying attention to where the keyhole was. If I ran past it like an idiot, like in Twilight Harbor, I didn't see where I was supposed to go. But yeah. Oh, again, looking back on it now, just saw it, that giant key door, but I didn't see it. At first, anyway. I saw it after this. So yeah, just me chasing after the thief again, and honestly, it was kind of worth dying so I could get Sparks back. Because Sparks can pick up gems for me. He can hand things to me. I don't have to work for what I want. That's the best way to play Spyro, to not try hard. Yeah, I just gotta chase after another one. Oh, it's so lovely to have gems gravitate towards me. Oh, it's such a great feeling. We're going out of here. Like, this is paint, right? Like, because that's what that's the guns those enemies had in the level. That's clearly the same stuff. It's paint. What is it though? Like, is it like toxic goop or waste or something? Like, what is it? What is the pink substance? That is a question for another day, or never, because it's never going to be answered. It's never going to be answered. So yeah, just chasing after the thief. There we go. Okay, now I just have to go up to Nasty Nork himself and see if he puts up one big bombastic final fight and see if he really wants to, you know, live. This is just me looking around to see if it's another piece because I don't want to die again. So yeah, come on past me, come on. There's no door. No door. You're wasting everyone, including your future self, me, time. You're wasting our time. But now that we're at Nork, yeah, he's just gonna run away. That's all he's gonna do. Just running away. Kind of pathetic. But honestly, fitting into the character, he never really seemed like he put up much of a fight to begin with. He honestly seemed rather, you know, petty. So, yeah, I guess I kind of fit. So yeah, just, again, because there are gems in this level, I can't instantly go after the boss, so I'm just doing some cleanup here before I decide to actually fight the boss. Because the boss itself, like every boss in this game, is really, really, really easy. This is the only one. This and Metalhead are the only ones that I consider actual bosses, because I actually feel like they can attack me in some way. So yeah, Nasty's gonna run away again, and yeah, just gonna chase after them, get that little gem that I missed on my first run through, and yeah, just gotta go fast, gotta go faster, Sonic the Hedge Dragon. Hey, that's a reference to this stream. So yeah, just doing this again. Again, there we go. 25 gems, wonderful. And now we're doing it again. There are no gems in this last area. All we need to do is go after Nork, and we'll get the last 100 gems in the main game, unless you're counting the extra final level that you get for getting everything, which I'm going to get, because I have gotten everything on this playthrough. So yeah, just flame him right here, and that's it for Nasty Nork.
You're toast, Nork.
Oh yeah, and by the way, skill point.
Sorry I took so long. Almost forgot about you guys.
What about Ganasty Ganork?
Nasty Nork is toast.
So now there's order again in the Dragon Kingdom?
Well, mostly. I've still got some treasure to find.
What will you do next?
I'd say the sky's the limit.
So yeah, that was the Spyro Reignited Trilogy, and before we sit through the credits, I just want to say these credits are really long, so I'm going to do all of you guys a favor and speed it up. I'll see you guys once the credits are over, because these take a while. So yeah, that was the Spyro Reignited Trilogy, except, hold on a moment, you're not gonna believe this, even though I just told you exactly what's gonna happen after, the final boss, just a minute ago before we actually, ended the final boss. There is more! Because there's, one extra level that you get for, doing everything, which, I did, not to brag or anything, but I'm kind of a professional, or at least, good, decent, whatever, average Spyro player, since every person that plays these games likes to 100% it seems, or at least like 95%. I did everything! So yeah, just gonna soak in the glory of me achieving my goal to that one last dragon, the last dragon I need to get, which is Magnus, the random dragon peacekeepers.
Nasty's
So, yeah.
ancient history now. So what's in there?
Not the most amazing ending, I imagine. Also, I don't even know how he was turned into crystal, because we already took out Nasty Nork. Did he just, like, fall here or something? I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to me. This is breaking my immersion. This cartoony world filled with purple dragons and, like, sheep and all that. It's breaking my immersion. Anyway, this is Nasty's loot. 12,000 treasure. This is going to bring our total amount of treasure up to 14,000. So yeah, just drop to this level as the level just sort of pops into existence. And yeah, this is a level where you can just instantly take flight at any moment. Just like in the flying level, same controls everything. The thing is, the gimmick with this level, you're just supposed to collect a bunch, and I mean a bunch of treasure. Again, 14,000, or wow, not 14,000, 2,000, which will bring our total up to 14,000. And you need to basically find keys to unlock doors and things like that in order to progress, because I can't just fly through all of this at once. I can't instantly go to the top of the level. It's locked off. There's an invisible ceiling above me. And in order to go higher, I need to unlock doors and things like that, so I can unlock the next area, which will bring me just a little bit higher. I can go higher, and that'll unlock more of the stage, raise the invisible ceiling, essentially, so I can get more treasure, because clearly I need more. I haven't even spent this on anything, and I can't spend it on anything. This is just... Spyro's just a hoarder. He's a hoarder. He's stolen all of the Dragon World's treasure. All of it. All of it. Spyro's the richest man alive. It's literally impossible for anyone to be richer than him because he has all the money on the planet. Or at least in the Dragon Kingdom, which would make him the richest dragon in the Dragon Kingdom, making him the richest dragon alive. Again, Spyro's a hoarder. He's a greedy dragon, he is. He's very greedy. And just fly through this amazing looking cave section. Again, this looks gorgeous. It's moments like this that really make the game's art style stand out. You know, it looks marvelous. It looks so pretty. It's so pretty. We go through and look for the next key. He's gonna go through and look for the next key. Once we find the next key, we'll be able to go even higher. Even higher. Now I need to get more money. You can see my jump isn't high because, again, invisible ceiling. Go to this grassy plain. This lovely looking grassy plain that I'll probably set ablaze. So yeah. This is pretty much all of Spyro. And just me giving my final thoughts on the game here. I love Spyro 1. It's one of my favorite 3D platformers of all time. It's not my favorite because I like Spyro 2 more than this. Spyro 2 is, if not, at least one of my favorite 3D platformers. It's a great example of a 3D platformer, and a collectathon in general. They're fantastic games, all three of them. I just prefer, like, that Spyro 2 has a bit more variety in what you can do again with the minigames. But, yeah, Spyro 1 is not far behind Spyro 2. Like, I love, absolutely adore Spyro 1. It's a fantastic game. Now, honestly, any fan of platformers in general, I would recommend it. It's a fantastic game. And when it comes to the Reignited Trilogy, what it did to Spyro 1, I haven't touched Spyro 2 at the time of this video's recording. But, you know, once I get to Spyro 2, I'll be able to speak for that myself when they get to the stream. But, like, you know, Spyro 1, just from, you know, what I played here with the first game of the Reignited Trilogy, absolutely amazing, like, beautiful. The graphics upgrade, like, it doesn't need any... I don't need to say anything about it, it's just amazing. It looks outstanding. And when it comes to the controls, if there's one difference I can notice, it's how Spyro handles when he's flying. Definitely feels a bit more stiff, which I did have trouble with. I definitely feel like the original game had better flight controls for the flight levels. And Spyro feels a bit heavier when gliding. I think that's what my problem was. Not that gaps were wider, but that Spyro's heavier when gliding. I think that's the problem. But, again, I say problem, it's not that big of an issue. It's easy to adjust. Just something I noticed. And again, if you never played the original Spyro games, you're not going to notice any of this. And it's just going to be, you know, it's just going to be Spyro, you know. If you never played the original, none of this is going to be an issue to you. For someone like me who's played these over and over and over again, I notice it, but I can't say it's enough of a deal to call it a problem. You know, it's just a difference, really. But yeah, like, overall, I love Spyro's control, and he controls absolutely wonderfully, especially on the ground. It's hard for me to say. I'd say the original has better, like, air control, like, when it comes to gliding and flying. Reignited Trilogy's ground control and jumping and everything feels so smooth and tight at the same time. It feels amazing. It's hard for me to decide on which one I prefer more, the original Spyro or the Reignited Spyro. I feel like if I were to go back and replay either Spyro 1 or the Reignited, like if I were to play the original PS1 game or the Reignited Trilogy, honestly, I could flip-flop between the two. But if I want to play, like, I guess if you were to say, if I had to pick one, which one would I pick? Probably just to the Reignited Trilogy because of the graphics upgrade. That's pretty much it. That's the only reason, really, because it looks better, obviously. But if you want to choose between the Reignited Trilogy or, you know, the originals, it really doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The games are great. At least for Spyro 1. Again, I can't say anything for Spyro 2, so I can't speak for the Reignited Trilogy as an entire package with all 3 games. But when it comes to just Spyro 1, it's really just a toss-up of, do you prefer prettier graphics, or do you want that old-school feel? You know, it's really, really close. There's not that... I would say there's not that big of a difference. Obviously, there's a big difference with, like, voice acting, performance controls, but, like, in terms of the game's overall quality, I can't say it's that different. They're both just equally great. So yeah, if you want to pick up Reignited, I'd wholeheartedly, like, you know, recommend it. Wholeheartedly recommend all of this. Fantastic game. Just collecting the last few gems here because, like, you get around 1,000 here in this open area, just inside Nasty's treasure hoard, which is right near the exit, right there where you see the portal. Right in there is like 1,000 gems all on its own. But yeah, this game's amazing so far, at least. Again, I can't speak for games 2 and 3. I haven't played them again at the time of this video's recording. But for just Spyro 1, I've had a blast, and it's wonderful. Absolutely amazing game. So yeah, that's what I know about the Reignited Trilogy so far, my opinion on it. I won't say it's better than the original, but I can't say it's worse either. It's about equal for me. So yeah, 2,000 out of 2,000 gems. Again, Spyro is a hoarder. I agree with that trophy name. He's a hoarder. Nasty's studying memes again. Motivational little pictures. Motivational memes. Nasty follows motivational memes with his knowledge. His wonderful knowledge with a G. But you don't pronounce G. Because again, there is no G.
Spyro the Dragon, you defeated Gnasty Gnor, collected the dragon eggs, saved all the dragons, and recovered every bit of treasure in the Dragon Kingdom. How do you feel?
I feel fired up, Bob. And I'm happy for the dragon world, of course. I certainly wouldn't want to spend the rest of my dragon days butting heads with Nasty Nork and his weird minions.
What's a minion?
Never mind. You know what they say. For every good battle, you need a good adversary. And I felt that Nasty, in spite of his misguided nature, was a worthy opponent. Uh-oh. Here we go again.
So yeah, that was that's never followed up on the sequel anyway. The sequel has a completely different plot. That's just a fun little ending for 100%. Fun little ending. But yeah, anyways, that was Spyro 1 with the Reignited Trilogy. Really, really soon I'm going to be getting to Spyro 2 in a stream, and then anything I don't finish in that stream, again, is going to be a Let's Play just like with this. Anyways, everyone, I have been the Cryogenic Gamer. Good night, everybody.